We are Kiwi Brick Exchange, a Bricklink seller located in Wellington, New Zealand. We resell on Bricklink and BrickOwl, and these videos will provide you a behind-the-scenes look into our systems and processes. And welcome into Monday morning and the start of another vlog. We've been a little bit busy over the weekend finishing up our old place, and we've got to clear out this wardrobe here because we have some installation coming around, or some people coming to install installation. So all of the wardrobe space has had to go, which means over in the store we are finding that space is at a bit of a premium, and trying to part out sets is very difficult. So with me trying to maximize the most of my space, I've actually pushed all of these organizers across. Obviously when we're picking on this side, I do like having a little bit of space up here to sort of put a container as I'm picking orders, and I'll sort of try and take you through that process today as best as possible. Might enlist the help of a friendly recorder. And so what we've done is we've moved this middle shelf across. Obviously no space here for leaving things, but we've still got some up here. But what that's done is created actually another desk space. And so now when we're parting out, we've got all of this desk space. Obviously we're trying to squish into this corner here. And when you have multiple things on the go, which does seem to be what I like to do, it does mean desk space is a bit limited. So main job this week is going to be clearing all of that out. And we've started with clearing one of the sets. And we've got two sets just sitting over here, which while we were doing a few bits of tidying up yesterday, just checking the pieces in it. There are a lot of pieces missing, but what it does mean is if you do have a set like this mostly made, then you can end up creating a nice, easy brick store file. And over in the store, we have had a ginormous weekend of orders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 orders for a total of 251. Still got one order from somebody who ordered about 2 months ago and still yet to make contact. So they've paid, and hopefully they do make contact. So that's about 130 lots and about 1,300 items. So it's going to be a very, very busy weekend. It was a very busy weekend, rather. It's going to be a very busy week of picking this morning. And this file here is us working through parting out a couple of sets. And this is set 31152. Only had the one, so just wanted to get rid of it. Haven't found any good deals for it, so basically just want to get the pieces in the store. It does have a lot of white and black, which is what we seem to be selling lately. So while it might not be the most efficient, it is what we are planning to do today. So we can get that in the store, then pick some orders, and catch up with you a bit later. I was asked by Master Mouldy last week to share a little bit about the sort of packaging process. And it all starts here. We use Brick Freedom to pick orders. You can pick multiple orders at the same time in Brick Freedom, and then on the right hand side here it will change from A to B to C, depending on which order it is. I've done a couple of those, and it works okay if we're doing sort of small orders, and then you can go across it. But what I find is that with a larger order like this one here, which is 105 items, or lots rather, 760 items, is I've often just gone and put the wrong piece with the wrong order. And so we've scaled all the way back for that. Basically, unless it's less than sort of 5 items, we don't generally pick all at the same time. I prefer just going one by one, which might not be as efficient when you're moving around the drawers and things, but it does mean it's more accurate. So in my mind, it actually is more efficient, because the time spent trying to fix an order that doesn't go well is a lot of wasted time and generally wasted money. So this is the way we go through things. And then what I like to do is basically pre-print all my labels. They're obviously upside down to hide addresses and things. And I've also got my sender address pre-printed. And so I use a Brother label for this one. And we just got this secondhand for about $50, which already came with all the roll. And you can use the Brother label roll for it, but I've been told this is a sort of a compatible one. Haven't actually needed to buy it new yet, so I don't actually know which one I'm going to be buying, but basically this has been providing for us for our last couple of months. And so we pre-print all the labels, and then obviously we have our own postage bags. Now the way it works in New Zealand is we can buy these from a post office, but they cost $1 each. And so we source them from a company called Repack, which is very, very nice. They're all made from recycled plastics, and you can recycle them as well once you cut the label off. So obviously doing Bricklink and Lego things that create a lot of waste, and we're trying to reduce that. And they come in a range of different sizes, and the great thing about this is all the sizes for the postage bags that are the same as the post office. So it's very easy for us to tell, okay, if things fit in this bag, this is the cost, and so then I can go through and keep accurate records. Generally, we find that most orders fit in this sort of small bag here, which the prices have just gone up last week, which has caught a lot of sellers over here in New Zealand by surprise because nobody knew about it. So unfortunately, I've had to put my pricing up about 50 cents here, but we are still pretty competitive. And I send everything and drop them off at the post office just for pure convenience. I think it's a lot of people do sort of a courier where they get them picked up and things, but this is what we use. And I started off by using bubble wrap on every single order. My worry with this one here is that can be a lot of waste, and obviously, more plastic and things. And we've slowly moved to a place where if I see minifigures or it's a higher value order when we're using this, otherwise we just send them in a snap lot bag. And we've got a couple of different sizes of snap lot bags here. And the great thing about these ones is this half full fits perfectly in this. This full is the one size up. And then this one here perfectly fits a business card. So if I grab one across for you, you'll see it fits nicely like that. And the great thing about this is with the business card in there, it actually provides a bit of sort of support to help it not get as squished. And we're now 300 orders in and have had no complaints about packaging. In fact, most people say your packaging is awesome. And we buy these from a local company called Packaging Products. They're a little bit better quality than the ones you might pick up from, say, like a cheap craft store or buying online. And because of that, I think it does, help. They're not very expensive at all. And so really, this business card, I think, is 5 to 10 cents. It's about 5 cents. So we're about 15 cents packaging per order. And this bag is about, I think, 25 cents is the lowest one. So we don't make really money on packaging because obviously we do free delivery over $75. But it kind of goes through that process. And so anything that fits in here, easy to put in, bubble wrap if we need, and obviously some things like some sellotape to package it together. We currently don't do anything in a box, and I know some people use boxes here. These seem to be the best way to go. I haven't had any issues with them. They seem to be looked after pretty well. But if I was to sell, say, like a sealed set, which we don't generally do at the moment, then I probably would look into getting boxes and things. And we do have a couple somewhere over here amongst the mess of things, which does have ability for us to do that. But at the moment, we don't do anything. Most of the sealed sets we actually sell as well, is we sell through Marketplace or Facebook Marketplace or TradeMe, which is our version of eBay. And they normally are a pickup. So that kind of solves all our packaging because we want to try and reduce the cost for people. And we do have a pretty good local market here in Wellington. So hopefully that kind of takes you through the process, and we're going to pick some orders now to show you what that looks like at the end, and our bags as well. All right, so we're partway through the order, and this is kind of the stage that we get up to. We can see we're going to need a bigger postage bag, obviously filling one of those cups. One of those cups is generally, for volume size, about the smallest parcel we have. So second we hit more than that, we know we need to go a size up. One thing to also be considering is the person over here has ordered 29 of these cheese slopes. I could only find initially 28, and so I had to do a quick count. And generally for smaller pieces in a larger quantity, we would put in a bag like this, maybe a couple if there's only sort of 28 of them. But I managed to find one because we have a bunch of used, sorted into categories, ready to upload. Now, what I would normally do is just double check, do I have any of these new? And then sort of fill the order. I think it's a lot easier to just quickly fill it from this end rather than have a customer that keeps seeing that you are missing pieces, which often is the case. You're going to miss a couple of pieces in your organizers. So having this there and making sure that you've got your used bulk over here, basically I just went scoop, scoop, took me about 10 seconds, and I found a cheese slope, which is perfect. Now, for obviously rarer pieces, that's going to be a bit tricky, but it's one way of just sort of fulfilling that order and keep moving through the ordering process. And what we do as well is we basically put them in these cups because it's easy to pour them into bags. And you'll notice that they're sort of a mixed jumble. And the reason for that is I try to do the packaging how would Lego do the packaging. And if anyone from like me, you've ordered Pick a Brick before, and it comes in a big jumbled absolute mess. Basically, unless you order over 100, nothing gets in an individual bag. Do you know what? I don't mind the sort from that. And I think if that's what people are expecting, then that's okay. Obviously, for larger quantities, we're individually bagging. But again, it's whatever takes time. And I think you need to sort of go on a bit of a scale between efficiency and outcome and go, well, if I go and individually bag every item, it's actually not going to be good. The order's not going to get picked quick enough. I'm not going to get out to my customer quick enough. So that is something to consider when you're doing that. So we're going to pack the rest of this order now and show you what it looks like when we package it. And one other thing I find quite useful about the Brick Freedom Picker is it tells you how much to pick, but it also tells you what should be remaining in your store. And so I know a lot of people talk about doing an audit and they might close their store for a day or two. I just cannot see the value of that to actually go through and do that type of audit for the time it would take. So here's my process. Whenever we're going to pick a item, which is an HH01, I can just do a quick look myself, particularly if there's only a couple left, and go, cool, 3 left, and that's what it is. And so doing that while you're picking actually is a great way of identifying what should be in a drawer and what's not. And I find that actually stops me needing to do a big giant audit. I'm sure there are issues with my drawers and things that are missing, but I just don't see the value of doing a big giant audit. I've tried to time how long it would take to do one of the big organizers. And to be honest, I'd rather just go and buy a new set and upload the pieces for what's in there. So it's definitely something to consider if you are running your own store. Do you audit? If you do, have you got a better system than I do? And maybe post a comment below and let us know your process. It's Monday night and we've just finished working through a couple of orders that we're picking. And you'll notice the desk space has a slightly new setup. If I zoom out a little bit for you. Number one, there's less stuff on it, which is awesome. And number two, we have now got a second screen. So a big thank you to a friend of ours who's also a subscriber of the channel, providing us with another monitor so that I can multitask, which is watching people do more bricklinking while I'm doing it as well. And so one thing we talked about earlier with our packaging process, this one's got a fairly expensive minifigure in here for minifigure value anyway. So it's getting a bit of bubble wrap, and then we'll go in one of our, but I'll hide the address, one of our extra small containers, packaging bags, and we've been working through a number of orders and had 2 more come through even while we've been packing orders. So that is the nice thing about this business, I guess, is that while you're packing orders, you can have more stuff coming through. So we're going to get onto that one. And so basically just a little bit of bubble wrap into a parcel is exactly what we do. No boxes yet, and it seems to work quite well. So thanks Master Moldy for the recommendation for what we can add into the videos. And if there's any other processes or things you'd like to add, or you'd like me to add into the videos, please do post a comment below, and we're more than happy to add things in. We also have a way to book a sort of a Zoom call, I guess. If that's something that you're interested in, just get in touch in the description. Tuesday the 9th of July, the sun is shining, and over in the store, I thought I'd give you a bit of an update on how we're going for items and lot count. And we've got, it says 10 orders yet shipped, but there are 9. We've packed all of those, bar 1, which we're just checking the address on, and those will be taken to the post office this morning. And over in our store, we reached a bit of a milestone last week, which was clocking over 300 orders. And nice to see those fans creeping up slowly, and 200 feedback, which is very, very nice. So thank you to everyone for the support. But our store has taken a massive hit. So we were up over about 54,000, I believe, in the last couple of weeks, but that is just going down and down, which is not a bad thing. We haven't been able to upload as much, and that's going to be the focus of this week, but we have been selling quite a bit, which is fantastic. And we've got a little bit of an update from my old man. Sent this through, said, how's my sorting process going? So we'll take a quick look at it. Yeah. There's a lot of work, people. There's a lot of work we got to do. Classic. Okay, we've all been there. In fact, I had one of these fall over one time, and It was one of those moments that I wish I'd filmed, but also I'm glad I didn't. And we also purchased a bit of a bulk haul yesterday. And you might look at that and go, why are you purchasing more bulk when you've got so much to do? Number one, that's kind of the life with Lego, isn't it? But one thing I noticed is, we can't quite zoom in super detailed here, but a couple over the side and then one up the top. Just saw a couple of old sort of castle-looking minifigures, and there are heaps of minifigure parts in this one here. And it's about 6 kilograms and only $140, so it was kind of worth the risk, I reckon. Seemed to be quite a few minifigures. And down the bottom here, there was a classic space torso, and we've been after a few for a friend, so there was enough in this one that I thought, yep, that's looking good. Condition didn't look too bad when you zoom in on some of the photos, and we'll see how that goes. Could be a miss, could be a great hit. Alright, we're just sorting through the used set that you can see in front of me. This is all in a Brickstore file, and basically just needs to be added to the store. So slowly making our containers, and then we just go through nice and quickly and add those to the store. And another one for all those social media haters out there. Although I guess if you're watching this, you maybe not. But I always get told, don't worry about social media. Well, people, there was somebody put on a Facebook page, local sort of Lego page, saying that they're after some of these. They wanted 50. I said, well, I've got 22 of them. And they said, great, it's in my cart, and I'll start adding some more. And, you know, a couple of black candles, an owl, a couple more ones. And these are actually have a really good part out value. I think we got them in the pick-a-brick. So that's some good value there for a very quick order. And so we're going to pack that while we watch the rest of some of the Brick Arena videos. So enjoy watching lots of different Bricklinkers and their different processes. Everyone has something to add, and Brick Arena was someone we followed quite carefully when we were thinking about whether we were going to go into this. And here we are. So, adding this to the store, then we're going to pack that order, and then we're going to go sort through a bit of the used bulk that is just sitting over there amongst the other boxes and things. And so we'll start pulling that out and see what we can find for you. So I decided to actually go through this box one more time, because I was after a couple of dinosaur pieces that I thought I'd missed from a particular bulk lot, and I just came across this right here, which appeared initially to be a classic space helmet. And it's hard to tell on the camera here, but it does seem to be either light grey, potentially. And so the one issue I have is no Lego logo. Now, a quick look online said there were a few that did have the Lego logo on, and some did not. And so I'm just trying to figure out a way to confirm if this is correct. If it is, it's about a $30 helmet. So we'll see how we go with that one a bit later on. And we pulled out a few interesting sort of pieces here. Found a Iron Man brickheads from 2018. And we'll have a quick search. And there you go, there's another dinosaur arm that we were missing, which is fantastic. And another piece off a minifigure. So, some interesting little pieces here. We'll see what they come to. And we are currently parting out tonight this Lego dot set, which we picked up in a bit of a bulk lot not so long ago. And I have a helper who's doing a fantastic job of parting out the set.
Daddy.
And what's your payment? You're getting a bracelet. What else?
A coin.
And a coin. Oh, cheap rate tonight, people. Actually, I thought the real cost was a friend's set, but we'll go with the coin. So we'll get that in the store very soon.
Dad.
And welcome into Wednesday, the 10th of July. You can see the desk is in full work mode at the moment. We're working through just a number of different pieces that we pulled out from that lot yesterday. A couple of sort of classic space heads, different weapons, just sort of interesting looking pieces. Really just to get the lot count up a bit. And we're slowly ticking away there. And some nice value of the pieces already. We had 2 orders that came in yesterday that we've already packed. So those go to the post office this afternoon. And we're trying to make as many more minifigures from all of our minifigure parts over here. So that's going to be the focus of the day, and we'll get back to you probably when this hits around about 100 and see what value we can get out of the used lot. Wednesday night in the store, and we are multitasking at the moment, watching the latest episode of The Acolyte, which has been rather controversial. don't know what I think of it still. It seems to be a bit hit and miss. However, what isn't been hit and miss is this lovely find here. 86 pieces for $80. These are just things that we pulled out, a range of different interesting looking pieces from our latest bulk haul. Just thought we'd try and get some variety in, and managed to find a couple of pieces for a minifigure that's just missing the neck bracket, and we're actually put an order through for those, so they should be turning up pretty shortly in the not too distant future. And so the plan for the store tonight is to try and get as many pieces uploaded as possible. We did have another order come through, so we'll need to pick that, just a small one, 12 items in 3 lots. And we're going to try and finish off this Brickheads, Iron Man Brickheads tonight, and also add that in to a bit of a sale coming up. So fairly quiet day. We've been trying to take it nice and easy. Seems to be the curse of knees at the moment for Bricklinkers, because mine is playing up a lot. I know a few others were having issues, so whether that's an occupational hazard, I do not know. But we are chugging our way through as much as we can. So more uploading going to be happening. We'll get this one uploaded and see if we can keep building some lot count and some item count. Thursday morning, and we're going to sort through the rest of these minifigure parts today. And one thing that I've just noticed, the more I get into this lot, is how many arms have been pulled off or swapped with figures. And so one thing we're going to need to consider is, with the sorting process, is actually how to go about doing this nice and efficiently. And so what I'm thinking of doing, and please let me know in the comments if you've got a better way, is getting all the torsos set out, and then basically just working through one by one, making sure the arms are correct. Because once the arms are correct, it's easy to sort of piece the figures together from different legs and things. And because of the number of figures and things we've got here, it obviously is going to take a little bit more time to start with. But then once we sort of narrow those items down, it's going to get better and better. That's the plan anyway. We'll see how we go. There are a couple of sort of older pieces in here as well. And so it's trying to match them up with arms and make sure that things are, I guess, not chipped. And so that's, I guess, one process. Just something to break up the week and make it a little bit different, because we're doing a bit of parting out, a bit of picking orders, and so maybe this is going to be a better solution. So we're not going to film too much today. We're going to spend most of the day sorting, and we'll get back to you tonight with how the sorting goes. And we have just had a delivery of another bulk lot that I saw this week. I might have mentioned it already in the vlog, but this is what I believe is going to be a great steal. And the reason for that is straight away we've got some elves. Some nice elf mini figure head there. And I can see some definitely vintage parts. The only problem is when you see stuff like this. So quite sun damaged. And so it will be interesting having a quick look through that a bit later. We'll show you what we find as we sort through. So this is probably a good example of taking the hits with the wins, or the losses with the wins, because a quick look at that from distance, you're like, wow, there's an amazing amount of minifigures, and look at all those pieces, and you already found a couple of interesting parts. But it's this damage and the condition, unfortunately. And we've got a Magisto here from the Castle series, and you can just see the condition is just woeful. That has not been looked after, and so unfortunately, not much we can do with that. And it's the same for a couple of figures down here as well. If I show you another example, just some of these ones here, just in really average condition. And so that's going to really take a big dent. I saw this in the haul when I saw it, and then it's got the back piece snapped off as well. So unfortunately, this is not going to be quite as nice as we initially expected. But that's what you kind of need to do when you're buying bulk. Assume that you're going to make your money on this, or make money back rather, and this is kind of the risk. You know, here's another example. Very sun damaged, cracked torso. So that is kind of what you got to deal with, and we seem to be getting more hits than misses, but this one is probably a bit of a miss. Definitely make our money back, just it will take a lot longer than we're expecting. And I've spent the last probably hour or so sorting through some of our used bulk, because what I'm trying to get to is a container like this full of parts, which these are large plates. We've got a box of bricks here and a box of 1 and 2 by plates. And basically with that previous haul that you saw, I just noticed how many massive plates there were actually in it. So I thought, well, that would be a good way of getting some stuff into the store. Bigger plates, a lot easier to pull out of a bulk lot. Also, we need to reduce some of the tubs down to sort of combine lots and things now that we've sorted through minifigure parts. That tub over there is all the minifigure parts from the first haul, and starting to pull out some things. I've got a friend who's after some of these shields. These will go for our sign and a few other bits and pieces. So it's getting all of this into one big tub. Basically what the aim is to get this as full as possible and then part it out. And it'd be interesting to see what a box the size of large plates actually is worth. So once we get around to actually splitting them into categories, we will get back to you on that one. One thing I do know for some of them though is they are a little bit dusty, so a quick brush over should be okay. Probably won't need to wash the whole lot because they are in some fairly good condition overall, but it's definitely something to consider when you are sorting through a used lot. And let's build a build figure here, which I feel like we're missing a couple of pieces, but I'm not sure what we're going to do with that one. And I also found some spinjitzu, and I have 2 more sitting on a desk which doesn't really have any space. So I think we might put these in a bit of a bulk lot and put them up on either TradeMe or Facebook Marketplace. And it is a Thursday night, and the desk is now clean. And we have one order that we packed today for a local pickup. This awesome space helmet which we found has already sold, as well as an old light grey canister, I guess. And we've thrown in a couple of space helmets, some old vintage ones there. And the Kiwi Brick order that has said it's been delivered is not here. And we've just been in touch with the company that delivers for Lego over here in New Zealand, and they've said it was being delivered to a completely different suburb. So, not sure what I'm going to do about that. I think I might need to get in touch with them again. This was a middle of June, in fact, early June order, and it is not here, people. A bit disappointed. I can see now why people buy on Bricklink, because it's not here. So, a couple of gripes with that. Hopefully Lego will sort me out tomorrow when I call and have a lovely conversation again. But for now, all of the minifigures from the bulk haul have been sorted into bags and everything. So we're going to be getting all the legs over here, matching all the torsos with some extra arms. And there's a lot of extra arms, so it's going to be a bit of fun. Something to mix up the day. And in the other room, we've got all of those bulk plates sorted, and we're going to start uploading those as well. The aim this week is to get as much in the store as possible, because we've just got a bit of space to grow. So I thought we'd start doing some plates and bulkier items, because you probably need another couple of these organizers just to fill that shelf. And if we go over to our new area as well, I might look at trying to find a part out this week, because we've got a number of different drawers that are empty currently, and space for another one here, because this can just sit on top somewhere up here along with our Kiwi Brick. And one thing we thought about this week is just putting all of our shipping things underneath here. It actually fits quite nicely, and while it is a bit of a pain to bend down, it means it's off the desk, and that means we've got more space to work with. So onwards and upwards. We're going to add some more lots to the store, and probably catch up with you tomorrow night for a bit more of a store update and how sales are going for the week. Well, we might have jumped the gun a little bit for that, because this 6x14 plate here is $7 each, and we've got 3 of them. And so I guess it just goes to show, when you are sorting through used, particularly where there's a slightly older haul, that there are some pieces that are quite rare, that you wouldn't look at this and go, oh, okay, this one's going to be more than everything else. But in the grand scheme of things, it is. And so to have a $7 average, we might need to just double check our pricing on it, but $7 average, good amount of sales in the last 6 months as well. Good amount of current inventory. In fact, the current inventory average is a lot higher, which is a good sign. Means that brings that up to $63, and with our total, we've got about $110 worth of plates. So just in that 8 litre tub. It'd be interesting to see going forward if we do sort of a tub at a time when it's full, actually what the value of each tub is and the time it takes to sort. Obviously we're not getting a lot of pieces to upload here, but it's a fairly quick sort just because they're nice bulky pieces, easy to stack on top of each other and count. Whereas other things like slopes, there's sort of that more manual count, which is a bit trickier. So definitely something to think about going forward. And if you do sort use Lego, please let us know in the comments what kind of processes you used. We do have our own video where we've talked about the categories that we use, which is why we go to larger plates now. But if you've got some tips or tricks or things that work for you, do let us know. Happy to have that sort of chat about it and see what works. And our last parts order has just turned up, which means we have finished almost the sign. Just waiting for a couple more dark red 1x1s, which are in the pick a brick order, so hopefully that turns up soon. But looking pretty good. All made of plates. Not bad for a first effort for a mock. And we've enlisted some help for sorting. Currently doing some bricks. And over in the store, present from the old man, the rebrickable mat has arrived. So pretty good quality, if I say so. Colours not 100%, but pretty good example. And having things like the Technic measures and brick measures and different axles and connectors are going to be very, very useful. And we poured a couple of these sorting trays, which I think will be helpful when moving around in the store and picking orders, and a couple more organisers to fill that spot. So more sorting tonight and see how much we can get in. And final piece of the week is finishing off those minifigures, sorting through and attaching as many hands and things as possible. We found this Star Wars minifigure, which I think is about $20, but we're missing an olive green hand, and I could not find one in this pile, but thankfully a friend down the road does have one, so we would finish that one and get into the store. And I came back, I was wondering why my daughter was a bit quiet. First lovely creation. Do you know what? This could be in the new Lego ideas. Well, we got a mantis head. I think it's one of the series minifigure torsos. Not sure where that head's from. Lovely, lovely design that she's left for me. So we are going to be working through this. And that's the vlog for the week this week, people. But thank you very much for all the support, as always. It's been a very long and busy week. Nice to do sort of full-time hours as well, as we're on holiday from our actual job. So more coming your way. The vlog's going to take a break next week, as we aim to do a slightly longer form video with a bit more of a specific focus. So keep an eye out for that one. And in the meantime, if you haven't checked out this video already, which is one of our best hauls, then make sure you go and check that out.